What if I told you that one of the world's first civilizations had a habit of paying their workers in beer, or that they believed their dreams were messages from the gods? The ancient Sumerians, who thrived over 5,000 years ago in what is now modern-day Iraq, were a people of incredible innovation and mystery. They gave us some of humanity's earliest inventions, like the wheel and writing, but they also practiced rituals and traditions that might seem bizarre, even shocking to us today. From sacred marriages to temple prostitution, from divination to human sacrifice, the Sumerians lived in a world where the divine and the mundane were deeply intertwined. In this video, we'll uncover 30 of their strangest practices, customs that shaped their society and left a lasting mark on history. So, if you're ready to step into the shoes of an ancient Sumerian and explore a world both familiar and utterly alien, keep watching. By the end, you'll see why these people remain one of history's most fascinating enigmas. Now, turning to the first of these strange practices, let's talk about something that might sound familiar yet utterly surprising: beer. But not just any beer. For the Sumerians, beer wasn't just a drink to enjoy after a long day. It was a form of currency. Yes, you heard that right, beer was money. Workers building the towering ziggurats or laboring in the fields were often paid in beer, a practice that might make modern-day happy hours seem a little less exciting. This wasn't just about quenching thirst, it was about survival. Beer was nutritious, packed with calories, and safer to drink than water, which could often be contaminated. But its role went even deeper. Beer was also a key part of trade. Merchants would exchange it for goods, and it became a staple in the bustling markets of Sumerian cities. And let's not forget its sacred significance. Beer was offered to the gods in religious ceremonies, a way to honor the divine and seek their favor. In fact, the Sumerians even had a goddess of beer, Ninkasi, who was celebrated in hymns and rituals. So, when you think about it, beer wasn't just a drink for the Sumerians. It was a symbol of their economy, their spirituality, and their way of life. It's a reminder that even the simplest things can hold profound meaning in the hands of an ancient civilization. Now, turning to the second of these strange practices, let's explore the Sumerians' deep connection to the divine. The Sumerians didn't just believe in one god. They worshipped an entire pantheon of gods and goddesses, each with their own unique powers and responsibilities. Imagine a world where every aspect of life, from the rising of the sun to the growth of crops, was governed by a specific deity. For the Sumerians, this wasn't just a belief, it was the foundation of their entire way of life. At the top of this divine hierarchy was Anu, the god of the heavens, who ruled over the cosmos. Below him was Enlil, the god of wind and storms, who controlled the forces of nature. Then there was Enki, the god of wisdom and water, who was believed to bring knowledge and fertility to the land. And let's not forget Inanna, the goddess of love and war, who embodied both the beauty and the chaos of human existence. These gods weren't distant figures, they were deeply involved in the daily lives of the Sumerians. Every decision, from planting crops to waging war, was made with the gods in mind. Rituals and offerings were a constant part of life as people sought to gain the favor of these powerful beings. Temples, known as ziggurats, were built as homes for the gods, towering over the cities as a reminder of their presence. The Sumerians even believed that their kings were chosen by the gods to act as intermediaries between the divine and the mortal world. This belief in multiple gods shaped every aspect of Sumerian culture, from their laws to their art to their daily routines. It was a world where the sacred and the mundane were deeply intertwined, and where the gods were as real as the ground beneath their feet. This practice of worshipping multiple gods wasn't just a religious tradition, it was a way of understanding the world and their place within it. And as we'll see, this belief system would leave a lasting legacy, influencing countless civilizations that came after. Now, turning to the third of these strange practices, let's delve into one of the most groundbreaking inventions in human history, the wheel. The Sumerians are credited with inventing the wheel around 3,500 years before the Common Era, and this simple yet revolutionary device transformed their society in ways that still resonate today. At first, the wheel wasn't used for transportation. Instead, it was primarily employed in pottery making. Sumerian potters used wheels to spin clay, allowing them to create symmetrical and durable vessels with greater efficiency. This innovation not only improved the quality of their pottery but also increased production, enabling them to trade their wares more widely. But the Sumerians didn't stop there. They soon realized the potential of the wheel for transportation. By attaching wheels to carts and chariots, they revolutionized how goods and people moved across their land. This advancement made trade faster and more efficient, connecting distant cities and fostering economic growth. The wheel also played a crucial role in agriculture, as wheeled carts made it easier to transport crops and tools, boosting productivity. Beyond practical uses, the wheel became a symbol of progress and ingenuity, reflecting the Sumerians' ability to solve complex problems and improve their way of life. This invention didn't just benefit the Sumerians, it laid the foundation for countless technological advancements that followed, from the chariots of ancient empires to the vehicles of the modern world. The wheel's impact on Sumerian society was profound, shaping their economy, culture, and daily life in ways that continue to influence us today. As we move forward, we'll explore how this ancient civilization's innovations extended far beyond the wheel, revealing even more about their remarkable legacy. Now turning to the fourth of these strange practices, let's explore the Sumerians' fascinating use of divination. For the Sumerians, divination was more than just a way to predict the future. It was a vital tool for understanding the will of the gods and making important decisions. They believed that the gods communicated through signs in the natural world, and it was their duty to interpret these messages. One of the most common methods of divination was hepatoscopy, or the reading of animal livers. Priests would carefully examine the livers of sacrificed sheep, looking for patterns or abnormalities that they believed held divine messages. These readings were used to guide everything from personal matters to major political decisions, such as whether to go to war or sign a treaty. Another key method of divination was dream interpretation. The Sumerians believed that dreams were direct messages from the gods, and they developed detailed systems to decode their meanings. Special priests, known as dream interpreters, would analyze the symbols and events in a person's dreams to provide guidance or warnings. Divination also extended to observing natural phenomena, such as the flight patterns of birds or the appearance of celestial events like eclipses. These signs were thought to reveal the gods' intentions and were carefully recorded for future reference. The practice of divination was deeply intertwined with Sumerian governance. Kings and rulers relied on diviners to ensure their decisions aligned with divine will, believing that ignoring these signs could bring disaster to their people. This reliance on divination highlights the Sumerians' profound connection to their gods and their belief in a world where the divine actively shaped human affairs. As we continue, we'll uncover even more ways the Sumerians sought to understand and influence the world around them, revealing the depth of their spiritual and intellectual pursuits. Now turning to the fifth of these strange practices, let's delve into the Sumerians' groundbreaking invention of cuneiform writing. Cuneiform, one of the earliest known writing systems, was not just a tool for communication. It was a revolutionary development that transformed Sumerian society. The word cuneiform comes from the Latin for wedge-shaped, referring to the distinctive marks made by pressing a reed stylus into soft clay tablets. This system began as simple pictographs with symbols representing objects or ideas, but over time, it evolved into a more complex script capable of recording detailed information. One of the primary uses of cuneiform was record-keeping. The Sumerians used it to track trade transactions, inventory, and agricultural yields, creating some of the world's first administrative documents. This meticulous record-keeping allowed them to manage their economy and resources with remarkable efficiency, but cuneiform was not limited to practical matters. It also played a crucial role in literature and storytelling. The Sumerians used it to write epic tales such as the famous Epic of Gilgamesh, which remains one of the oldest surviving works of literature. These stories not only entertained but also preserved their cultural values, myths, and history for future generations. Cuneiform also facilitated communication across their vast empire. Letters, legal contracts, and diplomatic correspondence were all written in this script, enabling the Sumerians to maintain connections and governance over distant regions. The development of cuneiform had a profound impact on Sumerian culture. It allowed them to document their achievements, share knowledge, and pass down their traditions. This writing system laid the foundation for future civilizations, influencing the development of other scripts and shaping the course of human history. As we move forward, we'll uncover even more ways the Sumerians used their ingenuity to shape their world, revealing the depth of their intellectual and cultural legacy. Now turning to the sixth of these fascinating practices, let's explore the monumental ziggurats of the Sumerians. These towering structures were not just architectural marvels, they were the heart of Sumerian religious and community life. Ziggurats were massive step temples built with mud bricks and often reaching impressive heights. Their design was meant to bring people closer to the heavens, serving as a bridge between the earthly realm and the divine. Each ziggurat was dedicated to a specific god or goddess, reflecting the Sumerians' deep devotion to their pantheon. At the top of these structures stood a shrine where priests performed rituals and made offerings to the gods. These ceremonies were believed to ensure the favor of the deities, bringing prosperity and protection to the city. But ziggurats were more than just places of worship. They were also centers of community life. Surrounding the ziggurat were courtyards, storerooms, and workshops bustling with activity. People gathered here not only for religious purposes but also for trade, festivals, and social gatherings. The ziggurat was a symbol of the city's power and unity, a testament to the Sumerians' ability to organize and mobilize their society. The construction of these massive structures required incredible skill and coordination. Thousands of workers labored to transport materials, shape bricks, and assemble the ziggurats layer by layer. This monumental effort reflected the Sumerians' commitment to their gods and their belief in the importance of maintaining a sacred connection with the divine. The ziggurats also served as a visual reminder of the city's wealth and influence, towering over the landscape and inspiring awe in all who saw them. As we continue, we'll uncover even more ways the Sumerians expressed their devotion and ingenuity, revealing the profound impact of their beliefs on their daily lives and their lasting legacy. Now turning to the seventh of these intriguing practices, we delve into one of the most controversial aspects of Sumerian culture, human sacrifice. This practice, though unsettling to modern sensibilities, played a significant role in their religious rituals and was deeply intertwined with their beliefs about the divine and the afterlife. Archaeological evidence, such as the Royal Cemetery of Ur, reveals that human sacrifices were sometimes performed to accompany high-ranking individuals into the afterlife. These sacrifices were believed to serve the deceased in the next world, ensuring their status and comfort among the gods. The reasons behind this practice are complex and multifaceted. Some scholars suggest that human sacrifice was a way to demonstrate loyalty and devotion to the gods, offering the most valuable gift, human life, to secure divine favor. Others propose that it was a means of maintaining social order, reinforcing the power of rulers and priests by showcasing their ability to command such profound acts of devotion. Theories also point to the symbolic nature of these sacrifices, representing the renewal of life and the cyclical nature of existence. While the practice may seem extreme, it reflects the Sumerians' deep conviction that the spiritual realm was intimately connected to their daily lives. As we explore further, we'll uncover how these rituals shaped their worldview and left a lasting mark on their civilization. Now turning to the eighth practice, we explore the fascinating use of cylinder seals by the ancient Sumerians. These small, intricately carved cylinders were more than just decorative objects. They were essential tools for authentication and artistic expression. Made from materials like stone, clay, or metal, each seal was unique, featuring detailed designs that often depicted scenes from daily life, mythology, or religious symbolism. When rolled across wet clay, the seal left behind a distinctive impression, serving as a personal signature or official mark. This practice was crucial in trade and administration, as it helped verify the authenticity of documents, contracts, and goods. For example, merchants would use cylinder seals to mark shipments, ensuring that the contents were genuine and unaltered. Similarly, officials used them to authorize legal agreements, creating a system of accountability that was revolutionary for its time. Beyond their practical uses, cylinder seals also reflected the artistic and cultural values of the Sumerians. The craftsmanship involved in creating these seals showcased their skill and creativity, while the imagery often conveyed stories or beliefs that were central to their society. As we move forward, we'll see how these small yet powerful objects played a significant role in shaping Sumerian commerce, governance, and culture. Now turning to the ninth practice, we delve into the complex and often troubling system of enslavement in ancient Sumerian society. Slavery was a deeply ingrained part of their social structure, with enslaved individuals playing significant roles in both daily life and the broader economy. People could become enslaved in several ways, including as prisoners of war, through debt, or as punishment for crimes. In some cases, parents even sold their children into slavery during times of extreme hardship. Once enslaved, individuals were considered property, though their treatment and roles varied widely depending on their owners and the tasks they were assigned. Some worked in households performing domestic duties, while others labored in fields, workshops, or on large construction projects like the building of ziggurats. Despite their lack of freedom, some enslaved individuals were able to earn wages or even purchase their freedom over time, though this was not common. The practice of slavery raises important ethical questions, particularly when viewed through a modern lens. It reflects the hierarchical nature of Sumerian society, where power and wealth were concentrated in the hands of a few, while others were forced into subservience. This system not only shaped the economic and social fabric of the time, but also highlights the stark inequalities that existed. As we continue, we'll see how this practice influenced other aspects of Sumerian life and how it contrasts with their more progressive innovations. Now turning to the 10th practice, we explore the Sumerians' fascination with the stars and their profound contributions to the field of astrology. The ancient Sumerians were among the first to systematically study the night sky, meticulously observing the movements of celestial bodies like the sun, moon, and planets. They believed that these heavenly objects held divine significance and could influence events on Earth. By tracking the stars, they developed one of the earliest known systems of astrology, using it to predict everything from weather patterns to the outcomes of wars and the fates of individuals. The Sumerians divided the sky into constellations and mapped the paths of the planets, laying the groundwork for later astronomical advancements. Their observations were so precise that they could predict lunar eclipses and other celestial events with remarkable accuracy. These findings were recorded on clay tablets, many of which have survived to this day, offering us a glimpse into their sophisticated understanding of the cosmos. Astrology was not just a scientific endeavor for the Sumerians, it was deeply intertwined with their religion and daily life. Kings and rulers often consulted astrologers before making important decisions, believing that the alignment of the stars could reveal the will of the gods. This practice influenced neighboring civilizations, including the Babylonians, who further refined Sumerian astronomical knowledge. the legacy of Sumerian astrology can still be seen in modern astronomy, as their early discoveries paved the way for future generations to explore the mysteries of the universe. As we move forward, we'll uncover how this celestial knowledge connected to other aspects of Sumerian culture, including their religious rituals and societal structures. Now turning to the 11th practice, we delve into one of the most debated aspects of Sumerian culture, temple prostitution. This practice, often shrouded in controversy, was deeply rooted in their religious beliefs and societal norms. In Sumerian society, temples were not just places of worship but also centers of economic and social activity. Within these sacred spaces, certain individuals, often referred to as temple prostitutes, played a unique role in religious ceremonies. These individuals were believed to serve as intermediaries between the divine and the mortal world. By engaging in sacred acts, they were thought to channel the favor of the gods, ensuring fertility, prosperity, and protection for the community. The practice was not seen as immoral or degrading, but rather as a sacred duty, a way to honor the gods and maintain harmony between the heavens and earth. Historians have offered varying interpretations of this practice. Some argue that it was a form of ritualistic worship, where the act itself symbolized the union of divine forces, such as the goddess Inanna and her consort Dumuzi. Others suggest that it may have also served as a means of economic support for the temples, as offerings and payments were often made in exchange for these services. Regardless of the interpretation, it is clear that temple prostitution held significant religious and cultural importance in Sumerian society. This practice also reflects the Sumerians' complex views on sexuality and spirituality. Unlike modern perspectives that often separate the two, the Sumerians saw them as deeply interconnected. The act of temple prostitution was not merely physical but also spiritual, a way to bridge the gap between the human and the divine. As we continue, we'll explore how this practice influenced other aspects of Sumerian life, including their art, literature, and societal structures, shedding light on the intricate ways their beliefs shaped their world. Now turning to the 12th practice, we uncover the Sumerians' deep fascination with lapis lazuli, a stunning blue stone that held immense cultural and symbolic significance. This precious gemstone, with its rich, celestial hue, was highly prized by the Sumerians, who believed it embodied the heavens and the divine. Lapis lazuli was not just a material for adornment but a symbol of power, spirituality, and connection to the gods. The Sumerians used lapis lazuli extensively in their jewelry and art. Intricate necklaces, bracelets, and amulets crafted from this stone have been discovered in royal tombs and temple offerings, showcasing its importance in both personal and religious context. Artists also incorporated lapis lazuli into their sculptures and mosaics, often using it to depict the eyes of statues or to create striking patterns in their works. The stone's vibrant color made it a favorite for representing the divine, as it was believed to reflect the splendor of the gods themselves. But how did the Sumerians obtain this precious stone? Lapis lazuli was not native to Mesopotamia. Instead, it was sourced from distant lands, primarily the mines of modern-day Afghanistan, thousands of miles away. This meant that obtaining lapis lazuli required extensive trade networks, connecting the Sumerians with far-flung regions. Traders would transport the stone along ancient routes, exchanging it for goods like textiles, grains, and other valuable resources. The journey of lapis lazuli from its source to Sumer highlights the sophistication of their trade systems and their ability to acquire rare and exotic materials. Beyond its physical beauty, lapis lazuli held deep symbolic meaning for the Sumerians. It was often associated with the gods, particularly the sky god Anu, and was believed to carry protective and purifying properties. Wearing or possessing lapis lazuli was thought to bring favor from the gods, ward off evil, and ensure prosperity. This belief further elevated the stone's status, making it a cherished item among the elite and a powerful symbol in religious rituals. As we move forward, we'll see how the Sumerians' love for lapis lazuli influenced their artistic expressions and trade relationships, offering a glimpse into how this ancient civilization valued beauty, spirituality, and connection to the divine. Now turning to the 13th practice, we delve into the Sumerians' profound belief in the power of dreams. For the ancient Sumerians, dreams were not just random images or thoughts during sleep. They were sacred messages from the gods, offering guidance, warnings, and insights into the future. This belief made dream interpretation a vital practice in their society, influencing everything from personal decisions to matters of state. The Sumerians believed that dreams were a direct line of communication with the divine. They thought that the gods used dreams to reveal their will, provide answers to pressing questions, or even foretell future events. Because of this, dreams were taken very seriously, and interpreting them correctly was considered a skill of great importance. Specialized priests known as dream interpreters were tasked with deciphering these divine messages. These interpreters were highly respected figures, often consulted by kings, leaders, and ordinary people alike. The methods of dream interpretation varied, but they often involved analyzing the symbols and events within the dream. For example, dreaming of a flood might be seen as a warning of impending disaster, while dreaming of a bountiful harvest could be interpreted as a sign of prosperity to come. The Sumerians also believed that certain dreams required specific rituals to ensure their messages were properly understood. These rituals might include offerings to the gods, prayers, or even sleeping in sacred spaces to invite clearer or more meaningful dreams. Dream interpretation played a significant role in decision-making, especially for rulers and military leaders. Before making important choices, such as going to war or enacting new laws, a leader might seek the guidance of a dream interpreter to ensure their actions aligned with the will of the gods. Even in everyday life, individuals would turn to dream interpreters for advice on personal matters, such as marriage, health, or business ventures. The Sumerians' reliance on dream interpretation highlights their deep connection to the spiritual world and their belief in the gods' active role in human affairs. This practice not only shaped their decisions but also reinforced their cultural and religious identity, blending the mystical with the practical in a way that was uniquely Sumerian. As we move forward, we'll explore how the Sumerian spiritual practices extended into other aspects of their lives, revealing even more about their complex and fascinating worldview. Now turning to the 14th practice, we explore the fascinating myth of Enki's sacred fish and its profound significance in Sumerian religion. Enki, the god of water, wisdom, and creation, was one of the most revered deities in the Sumerian pantheon. Among his many symbols, the sacred fish held a special place, embodying his connection to the life-giving waters and the mysteries of the deep. According to Sumerian mythology, Enki's sacred fish were believed to be his messengers, carrying his divine wisdom and blessings to the people. These fish were not just ordinary creatures, they were seen as sacred beings capable of communicating Enki's will and providing guidance. This belief led to the incorporation of fish into various religious rituals and daily practices. For instance, fish were often offered as sacrifices in temples dedicated to Enki, symbolizing the people's devotion and their desire for his favor. The sacred fish also played a role in Sumerian art and iconography. Images of fish were commonly depicted on seals, pottery, and temple walls, serving as reminders of Enki's presence and his protective powers. These depictions were not merely decorative, they were deeply symbolic, reinforcing the connection between the divine and the natural world. In daily life, the belief in Enki's sacred fish influenced how the Sumerians interacted with their environment. Rivers, lakes, and other bodies of water were treated with reverence as they were seen as the domains of Enki. Fishing, an important activity for sustenance and trade, was often accompanied by prayers and rituals to honor the god and ensure a bountiful catch. The Sumerians believed that by respecting the sacred fish and the waters they inhabited, they could maintain harmony with the divine and secure Enki's blessings for their community. This practice highlights the Sumerians' intricate blend of spirituality and practicality. By weaving the myth of Enki's sacred fish into their religious and daily lives, they created a worldview where the divine was ever present, guiding and shaping their existence. As we continue, we'll uncover more about how these ancient beliefs influenced other aspects of Sumerian culture, revealing the depth of their connection to the gods and the natural world. Now turning to the 15th practice, we delve into the Sumerians' burial rituals, which offer a profound glimpse into their beliefs about death and the afterlife. For the Sumerians, death was not an end but a transition to another realm, and their burial practices were designed to ensure the deceased's safe passage and comfort in the afterlife. These rituals were deeply intertwined with their spiritual beliefs and their understanding of the divine. One of the most striking aspects of Sumerian burials was the inclusion of grave goods. These items, ranging from pottery and jewelry to tools and weapons, were carefully selected and placed in the tomb alongside the deceased. The Sumerians believed that these objects would be needed in the afterlife, reflecting their view that life beyond death mirrored their earthly existence. For the elite, this often meant lavish burials with precious metals, intricate carvings, and even servants or animals, symbolizing their status and ensuring they would continue to enjoy a life of privilege in the next world. The placement of the body was also significant. The deceased were often buried in a fetal position, a symbolic gesture representing rebirth and the cyclical nature of life. Tombs were sometimes constructed within or near temples, emphasizing the connection between the dead and the gods. This practice highlights the Sumerians' belief that the divine played a central role in both life and death, and that maintaining a relationship with the gods was essential even in the afterlife. Another key element of Sumerian burial rituals was the belief in an afterlife governed by specific deities. The Sumerians envisioned the underworld as a dark, shadowy place ruled by the goddess Ereshkigal. To navigate this realm, the deceased required the favor of the gods, which could be secured through proper burial rites and offerings. Failure to perform these rituals correctly was thought to result in a restless existence for the deceased, cut off from the divine and unable to find peace. These burial practices reveal the Sumerians' deep respect for the dead and their belief in a continuity between life and the afterlife. By honoring their deceased with elaborate rituals and grave goods, they sought to maintain harmony with the divine and ensure the well-being of their loved ones in the next world. As we move forward, we'll explore how these ancient beliefs influenced other aspects of Sumerian culture, shedding light on their complex and fascinating worldview. Now turning to the 16th practice, we delve deeper into the Sumerians' use of beer in religious ceremonies, a tradition that highlights its significance beyond mere consumption. For the Sumerians, beer was not just a beverage but a sacred offering, a symbol of divine favor, and a vital part of their spiritual rituals. This practice underscores the deep connection between their daily lives and their religious beliefs. In Sumerian culture, beer was often presented as an offering to the gods during temple ceremonies. It was believed that the gods themselves enjoyed the drink, and by offering it, the Sumerians sought to gain their favor and blessings. Temples often had their own breweries where priests and priestesses prepared beer specifically for these rituals. The act of offering beer was seen as a way to nourish the gods, ensuring their continued protection and goodwill toward the community. The symbolic meaning of beer in these ceremonies was profound. It represented fertility, abundance, and the life-giving forces of nature. The fermentation process, which transformed simple grains into a potent drink, was seen as a divine miracle, a gift from the gods. This made beer not just a physical offering but also a spiritual one, embodying the cycle of life, growth, and renewal. In many ways, beer became a bridge between the earthly and the divine, a tangible expression of the Sumerians' gratitude and reverence. Beer also played a role in communal religious festivals, where it was shared among participants as a way to unite them in worship and celebration. These gatherings often included music, dance, and feasting, with beer serving as a central element that brought people together. By partaking in the drink, the community reaffirmed their shared beliefs and their connection to the gods. The use of beer in Sumerian religious ceremonies reveals how deeply intertwined their daily lives were with their spiritual practices. It was more than just a drink, it was a symbol of their relationship with the divine, a tool for fostering unity, and a reminder of the blessings they believed came from the gods. As we continue, we'll explore how this sacred beverage influenced other aspects of Sumerian culture, further illuminating their unique worldview. Now turning to the 17th practice, we explore the role of animal sacrifice in Sumerian religion, a practice deeply rooted in their efforts to appease the gods and maintain cosmic order. For the Sumerians, animal sacrifice was not merely a ritual act but a profound expression of their devotion and a means of ensuring divine favor. The types of animals used in these sacrifices varied depending on the deity being honored and the purpose of the ritual. Sheep, goats, and cattle were among the most common offerings, chosen for their value and symbolic significance. These animals were often selected with great care, as their purity and health were believed to reflect the sincerity of the worshippers. In some cases, specific animals were associated with particular gods, such as lambs for fertility deities or bulls for gods of strength and power. The rituals themselves were elaborate and meticulously performed. Priests, who acted as intermediaries between the people and the gods, conducted the sacrifices in temple courtyards or at altars. The process typically involved purification rites, prayers, and the presentation of the animal as an offering. The animal was then slaughtered, and its blood, considered a powerful life force, was often collected and used in further rituals. The meat was sometimes cooked and shared among the participants, symbolizing a communal bond with the gods. The significance of animal sacrifice lay in its ability to appease the gods and maintain harmony between the human and divine realms. The Sumerians believed that the gods required sustenance and that offering animals was a way to provide for them. By giving up something valuable, the worshippers demonstrated their loyalty and humility, hoping to secure blessings such as good harvests, protection from disasters, or victory in battle. Sacrifices were also performed during times of crisis, such as droughts or plagues, as a plea for divine intervention. Beyond its religious function, animal sacrifice reinforced social and cultural structures. It highlighted the role of the priesthood as mediators and underscored the importance of communal participation in religious life. The practice also reflected the Sumerians' understanding of the natural world, where life and death were seen as interconnected cycles governed by the gods. As we move forward, we'll uncover how these rituals of sacrifice intertwined with other aspects of Sumerian spirituality, shedding light on their complex and deeply symbolic worldview. Now turning to the 18th practice, we delve into the vibrant role of music and dance in Sumerian culture, a practice that brought rhythm and harmony to both their spiritual and everyday lives. For the Sumerians, music and dance were far more than mere entertainment. They were essential tools for connecting with the divine, celebrating life's milestones, and fostering community bonds. Music was deeply woven into the fabric of Sumerian religious ceremonies. Instruments like the lyre, harp, and drum were commonly used to accompany hymns and prayers, creating an atmosphere of reverence and awe. These instruments were often intricately decorated, with some even featuring carvings of mythological scenes or symbols of the gods. The lyre, in particular, held a special place in Sumerian culture, with its soothing melodies believed to please the gods and invoke their presence during rituals. Dance, too, played a significant role in religious practices. Dancers, often trained from a young age, performed in temples and during festivals, their movements carefully choreographed to honor the gods. These dances were not just physical expressions but also spiritual acts, believed to channel divine energy and convey messages to the heavens. In some cases, dance was used to reenact mythological stories, bringing the tales of the gods to life for the worshippers. Beyond the temples, music and dance were central to Sumerian festivals and celebrations. Harvest festivals, royal coronations, and even weddings were marked by lively performances that brought communities together. Musicians and dancers were highly respected figures, often employed by the elite to entertain at banquets and gatherings. These events were not only social occasions but also opportunities to reaffirm cultural identity and shared values. Instruments like the tambourine, flute, and lute added variety to the musical landscape, each contributing its unique sound to the rich tapestry of Sumerian music. The rhythms and melodies created by these instruments were believed to have the power to heal, protect, and inspire. Music was also used in daily life, from lullabies sung to children to work songs that accompanied labor in the fields or workshops. The integration of music and dance into Sumerian culture highlights their belief in the interconnectedness of art, spirituality, and daily life. These practices were not just expressions of creativity, but also vital means of communication, celebration, and devotion. As we continue, we'll explore how these artistic traditions influenced other aspects of Sumerian society, revealing the depth of their cultural and spiritual legacy. Now turning to the 19th practice, we explore the Sumerians' fascinating belief in omen reading, a practice that shaped their understanding of the world and influenced their decisions. For the Sumerians, omens were not random occurrences but messages from the gods, offering guidance and warnings about the future. They believed that by carefully observing natural phenomena, they could interpret these divine signals and act accordingly. One of the most common sources of omens was the behavior of animals. The Sumerians paid close attention to the movements, sounds, and even the appearance of creatures like birds, snakes, and livestock. For example, if a bird flew in a particular pattern or a snake crossed someone's path, these events were seen as significant signs. Priests and diviners who were skilled in interpreting these omens would analyze the details and provide insights into what the gods were communicating. These interpretations often influenced decisions in matters of war, agriculture, and even personal life. Celestial events were another major source of omens. Eclipses, comets, and the positions of stars and planets were believed to hold profound meaning. A solar eclipse, for instance, might be interpreted as a warning of impending disaster, while a favorable alignment of planets could signal prosperity and success. The Sumerians meticulously recorded these events, creating some of the earliest known astronomical records. Their observations laid the groundwork for later advancements in astronomy and astrology. The practice of omen reading extended to everyday occurrences as well. Unusual weather patterns such as sudden storms or unseasonable heat were seen as signs from the gods. Even dreams were considered omens, with specific symbols and scenarios believed to carry messages about the future. The Sumerians developed detailed methods for interpreting these dreams, often consulting priests or diviners to uncover their meanings. Omen reading played a crucial role in Sumerian governance and decision-making. Kings and rulers relied on diviners to guide their actions, ensuring that their choices aligned with the will of the gods. This practice was not just about predicting the future, but also about maintaining harmony between the human and divine realms. By heeding the omens, the Sumerians believed they could avoid misfortune and secure the favor of the gods. The Sumerians' belief in omen reading reflects their deep connection to the natural world and their conviction that every event had a purpose. This practice not only shaped their daily lives but also influenced their broader cultural and spiritual outlook. As we move forward, we'll uncover how these interpretations of the divine will continue to shape Sumerian society in profound and unexpected ways. Now turning to the 20th practice, we delve into the Sumerians' profound belief in magic and their use of spells, a practice that was deeply intertwined with their religious and daily lives. For the Sumerians, magic was not just a tool for influencing the world around them, but a sacred art that connected them to the divine. They believed that through spells they could invoke the power of the gods to protect themselves, heal the sick, or even curse their enemies. Magic was an integral part of Sumerian religion, and priests often served as both spiritual leaders and practitioners of the magical arts. They used spells to communicate with the gods, seeking their favor or intervention in human affairs. These spells were carefully crafted, often written in cuneiform on clay tablets, and recited with precise rituals to ensure their effectiveness. The Sumerians believed that the spoken word held immense power, and the correct pronunciation and intonation of a spell were crucial to its success. One of the most common uses of magic was for protection. The Sumerians lived in a world filled with uncertainties, from natural disasters to enemy invasions, and they turned to magic to shield themselves from harm. Protective spells were inscribed on amulets or written on tablets and placed in homes, temples, and even buried with the dead to safeguard them in the afterlife. These spells often invoked the names of powerful deities such as Enki, the god of wisdom and water, or Inanna, the goddess of love and war, to provide divine protection. Healing was another important application of magic. The Sumerians believed that illness and disease were often caused by malevolent spirits or the displeasure of the gods. To cure the sick, healers would perform rituals and recite spells designed to drive out evil forces or appease the gods. These healing spells were sometimes accompanied by the use of herbal remedies, blending the physical and spiritual aspects of medicine. The Sumerians' understanding of the connection between the body and the spirit laid the foundation for later medical practices. However, magic was not always used for benevolent purposes. The Sumerians also employed curses to bring harm to their enemies or rivals. These curses were often inscribed on objects or spoken aloud during rituals, calling upon the gods to inflict misfortune or suffering. The belief in the power of curses was so strong that even the threat of one could deter enemies or settle disputes. This darker side of magic reflects the Sumerians' belief in the dual nature of the divine, where gods could bring both blessings and destruction. The use of magic and spells in Sumerian society highlights their belief in the interconnectedness of the physical and spiritual worlds. It was a way for them to exert some control over their lives in a world they saw as governed by powerful and often unpredictable forces. As we continue, we'll explore how these magical practices evolved and influenced other aspects of Sumerian culture, revealing even more about their complex relationship with the divine. Now turning to the 21st practice, we explore the fascinating world of royal rituals in ancient Sumer. The Sumerian kings were not just political leaders, but also spiritual figures who played a crucial role as intermediaries between the gods and their people. These rituals were deeply symbolic and served to reinforce the king's divine mandate to rule, ensuring the prosperity and stability of the kingdom. One of the most significant royal rituals was the sacred marriage ceremony, where the king would symbolically marry a goddess, often Inanna, the goddess of love and war. This ritual was believed to ensure fertility, both for the land and the people, and to secure the favor of the gods. The ceremony involved elaborate processions, offerings, and recitations of sacred texts, all designed to invoke the presence and blessings of the divine. The king's participation in this ritual underscored his role as the earthly representative of the gods, tasked with maintaining harmony between the human and divine realms. Another important ritual was the New Year festival, known as the Akitu. This multi-day celebration marked the beginning of the agricultural year and involved a series of ceremonies to honor the gods and renew the king's legitimacy. During the festival, the king would undergo a symbolic humiliation, such as being stripped of his royal insignia before being reinstated by the high priest. This act symbolized the king's submission to the gods and his dependence on their favor for his continued rule. The Akitu festival was not only a religious event but also a political one, reinforcing the king's authority and the social order. Royal rituals also included offerings and sacrifices made in the grand temples of Sumer. The king would present food, drink, and valuable items to the gods, often accompanied by prayers and hymns. These offerings were believed to sustain the gods and ensure their continued protection and blessings. The act of giving was seen as a reciprocal exchange where the king and his people provided for the gods, and in return, the gods granted prosperity and stability to the kingdom. The symbolism of these rituals extended beyond their immediate religious significance. They were a way for the Sumerians to express their understanding of the cosmos and their place within it. The king's role as an intermediary highlighted the belief that human affairs were deeply intertwined with the divine, and that the well-being of the kingdom depended on maintaining a harmonious relationship with the gods. These rituals also served to unify the community, bringing people together in shared acts of worship and celebration. As we move forward, we'll delve into how these royal rituals influenced other aspects of Sumerian culture, from their art and architecture to their social and political structures. The legacy of these ceremonies offers a glimpse into the profound spiritual and cultural life of one of the world's earliest civilizations. Now turning to the 22nd practice, we uncover the Sumerians' remarkable knowledge of herbal medicine and its role in their society. The Sumerians were among the earliest civilizations to document the use of plants and herbs for healing, creating a foundation for medical practices that would influence later cultures. Their understanding of health was deeply intertwined with their spiritual beliefs, as they saw illness as a sign of divine displeasure or imbalance in the body. Healers in Sumerian society, often referred to as Ashapu or Asu, played a vital role in diagnosing and treating ailments. The Ashapu were primarily concerned with identifying the spiritual causes of illness, using rituals and incantations to appease the gods and drive away malevolent forces. On the other hand, the Asu focused on the physical aspects of healing, employing a variety of herbs, roots, and natural remedies to treat symptoms and restore health. Together, these practitioners worked to address both the spiritual and physical dimensions of well-being. The Sumerians compiled detailed lists of medicinal plants and their uses, many of which have been preserved on clay tablets. These texts reveal a sophisticated understanding of herbal properties, with remedies for conditions ranging from digestive issues to skin ailments. For example, they used myrrh and thyme as antiseptics, licorice root to soothe coughs, and poppy seeds to alleviate pain. Some of these remedies were surprisingly effective, and their use of certain plants aligns with modern medical knowledge. Herbal medicine was not limited to treating physical ailments. The Sumerians also believed in the power of herbs to purify the body and soul, often incorporating them into cleansing rituals. For instance, burning aromatic herbs like cedar or juniper was thought to ward off evil spirits and cleanse sacred spaces. This holistic approach to health reflects their belief in the interconnectedness of the physical and spiritual worlds. The role of healers extended beyond individual treatment. They were also responsible for maintaining public health, advising on hygiene, and preventing the spread of disease. Their knowledge was passed down through generations, ensuring that the wisdom of herbal medicine remained a cornerstone of Sumerian society. As we continue, we'll explore how these healing practices influenced other aspects of Sumerian culture, from their religious rituals to their daily lives. The legacy of their herbal medicine offers a fascinating glimpse into the ingenuity and resourcefulness of one of history's earliest civilizations. Now turning to the 23rd practice, we delve into the Sumerians' practice of temple offerings, a cornerstone of their religious life. The Sumerians believed that the gods controlled every aspect of their world, from the fertility of their crops to the success of their cities. To ensure the gods' favor and protection, they made regular offerings at their temples, which served as the physical and spiritual centers of their communities. These offerings were diverse and carefully chosen to reflect the importance of the gods. Food and drink were among the most common offerings, with bread, beer, and meat being staples. Beer, in particular, held a special place in Sumerian culture, not only as a daily beverage but also as a sacred offering. It was believed that the gods enjoyed the same comforts as humans, and providing them with sustenance was a way to show gratitude and maintain a harmonious relationship. In addition to food and drink, the Sumerians offered valuable items such as precious metals, gemstones, and finely crafted objects. Lapis lazuli, a deep blue stone highly prized by the Sumerians, was often used in jewelry and statues dedicated to the gods. These offerings were not merely symbolic, they were seen as essential for keeping the gods content and ensuring their continued blessings. The act of making offerings was deeply ritualistic. Priests and priestesses played a central role in presenting these gifts to the gods, often accompanied by prayers, chants, and music. The offerings were placed on altars or in special chambers within the temple, where they were believed to be received by the deities. In some cases, the food and drink were later redistributed to the temple staff or the community, symbolizing the gods' generosity and the shared bond between the divine and the people. The significance of temple offerings extended beyond the immediate act of giving. They were a way for the Sumerians to express their dependence on the gods and to seek their guidance and protection. By maintaining this practice, they reinforced their belief in a reciprocal relationship with the divine, where human devotion was met with divine favor. As we move forward, we'll explore how these offerings were intertwined with other aspects of Sumerian life, from their agricultural rituals to their royal ceremonies. The practice of temple offerings offers a profound insight into the Sumerians' worldview and their enduring efforts to connect with the divine. Now turning to the 24th practice, we explore the Sumerians' use of divination tools, a fascinating aspect of their efforts to understand and interpret the will of the gods. Divination was a vital practice in Sumerian society as it provided a way to seek guidance, predict the future, and make decisions that aligned with divine intentions. To achieve this, the Sumerians relied on a variety of tools and methods, each with its own unique significance. One of the most common tools used for divination was the clay model. These models, often shaped like animal livers or other organs, were carefully examined for signs and markings believed to hold messages from the gods. The liver, in particular, was considered a sacred organ, thought to be the seat of emotions and divine insight. By studying the patterns and anomalies on these clay models, priests and diviners could interpret the god's will and provide guidance on matters ranging from warfare to agriculture. Inscribed tablets were another essential tool in the Sumerians' divination practices. These tablets, often made of clay, contained written records of omens, dreams, and celestial events. The Sumerians believed that the gods communicated through these signs, and by carefully recording and analyzing them, they could uncover hidden meanings and predict future events. For example, an eclipse or the appearance of a specific constellation might be interpreted as a warning or a blessing, depending on the context. The process of divination was highly ritualistic and required specialized knowledge. Priests and diviners underwent extensive training to master the art of interpreting these signs. They would often perform rituals such as offering prayers or burning incense to seek clarity and ensure the accuracy of their readings. The results of these divination sessions were then used to guide important decisions, from the timing of agricultural activities to the planning of military campaigns. The use of divination tools reflects the Sumerians' deep belief in a world governed by divine forces. By seeking to understand the will of the gods, they aimed to align their actions with a higher purpose and ensure the prosperity and stability of their society. This practice not only highlights their spiritual devotion, but also their ingenuity in developing methods to navigate the uncertainties of life. As we continue, we'll delve into the ritual of sacred marriage, a practice that further illustrates the Sumerians' efforts to maintain harmony between the human and divine realms. The use of divination tools offers a compelling glimpse into their quest for knowledge and their enduring connection to the gods. Now turning to the 25th practice, we explore the Sumerian ritual of sacred marriage, a deeply symbolic ceremony that connected the human and divine realms. This practice, known as the sacred marriage or hieros gamos, involved the king symbolically marrying a goddess, often Inanna, the goddess of love, fertility, and war. This ritual was not just a symbolic act, but a profound expression of the Sumerians' belief in the interdependence between the divine and the earthly. The sacred marriage ceremony was a grand event, often held during the New Year festival, a time of renewal and celebration. The king, representing the mortal world, would take on the role of the goddess's consort, symbolizing the union of humanity and divinity. This act was believed to ensure the fertility of the land, the prosperity of the kingdom, and the favor of the gods. By participating in this ritual, the king was seen as a mediator between the people and the gods, tasked with maintaining cosmic order and harmony. The details of the ceremony varied, but it typically involved elaborate rituals, offerings, and processions. The king would enter the temple, where he would perform symbolic acts to honor the goddess. These acts were meant to invoke her blessings and ensure the fertility of crops, livestock, and the people themselves. The ritual was not only a spiritual act but also a political one, reinforcing the king's divine right to rule and his role as the protector of the kingdom's well-being. The sacred marriage also had a broader cultural significance. It reflected the Sumerians' understanding of the natural world and their place within it. By symbolically uniting the king with a goddess, they sought to align their society with the cycles of nature and the will of the gods. This practice underscored their belief in the interconnectedness of all things and the importance of maintaining balance between the human and divine realms. As we move forward, we'll examine the use of amulets and talismans in Sumerian culture, another fascinating practice that highlights their efforts to seek protection and favor from the gods. The ritual of sacred marriage offers a unique window into the Sumerian spiritual and cultural world, revealing their deep reverence for the divine and their commitment to ensuring the prosperity of their society. Now turning to the 26th practice, we delve into the Sumerians' use of amulets and talismans, objects believed to hold protective and luck-bringing powers. These small, often intricately designed items were deeply embedded in their daily lives, serving as a bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds. The Sumerians carried or wore these charms to ward off evil spirits, attract divine favor, and ensure success in various aspects of life, from health to agriculture. Amulets and talismans were crafted from a variety of materials, including stone, metal, and clay, often inscribed with symbols, prayers, or images of gods and goddesses. Common designs included depictions of protective deities like Enki, the god of wisdom and water, or Inanna, the goddess of love and war. Some amulets featured animals such as lions or bulls, symbolizing strength and fertility, while others bore celestial symbols like stars or crescent moons, representing the heavens and divine guidance. The power of these objects was rooted in the Sumerians' belief in the supernatural. They thought that by wearing or carrying an amulet, they could harness the energy of the gods or the natural world to shield themselves from harm. For example, a farmer might wear a talisman engraved with a prayer to the rain god, hoping to ensure a bountiful harvest. Similarly, a mother might place an amulet under her child's pillow to protect them from illness or nightmares. The creation of these items was often accompanied by rituals and prayers, imbuing them with spiritual significance. Priests or skilled artisans would craft the amulets, sometimes inscribing them with cuneiform texts that invoked the god's protection. The act of wearing or carrying these objects was not just a personal gesture but a communal one, reflecting the shared belief in the power of divine intervention. As we continue, we'll explore the practice of ritual cleansing, another fascinating aspect of Sumerian culture that highlights their efforts to maintain purity and harmony in both the physical and spiritual realms. The use of amulets and talismans offers a glimpse into the Sumerians' deep connection to the divine and their constant quest for protection and prosperity in an unpredictable world. Now turning to the 27th practice, we explore the Sumerians' use of ritual cleansing, a vital part of their religious and daily life. Ritual cleansing was more than just a physical act. It was a spiritual preparation, a way to purify the body and soul before approaching the divine. The Sumerians believed that cleanliness was not only next to godliness but essential for maintaining harmony with the gods and the natural world. The methods of ritual cleansing varied depending on the occasion and the individual's role in society. For priests and priestesses, purification rituals were especially elaborate, often involving washing with sacred water, anointing with oils, and wearing clean, specially prepared garments. These rituals were performed in temples, where water from sacred rivers or wells was used to symbolize the washing away of impurities. The act of cleansing was often accompanied by prayers or incantations, invoking the gods to bless and protect the individual. For ordinary people, ritual cleansing was a simpler but equally important practice. Before participating in religious ceremonies or festivals, individuals would wash themselves thoroughly, often in rivers or at home using water mixed with herbs or ashes believed to have purifying properties. This act was not just about physical cleanliness but also about preparing the mind and spirit to connect with the divine. The Sumerians saw ritual cleansing as a way to reset their spiritual state, removing any negative energy or sins that might hinder their prayers or offerings. The significance of these practices extended beyond the individual. Ritual cleansing was a communal act, reinforcing the collective bond between the people and their gods. During major festivals, entire communities would participate in purification rituals, creating a sense of unity and shared purpose. These rituals also served as a reminder of the Sumerians' dependence on the gods for protection, prosperity, and guidance. As we move forward, we'll uncover the 28th practice, where we delve into the Sumerians' use of mythological stories to shape their culture and beliefs. The practice of ritual cleansing offers a profound insight into their efforts to maintain spiritual purity and their deep reverence for the divine in every aspect of life. Now turning to the 28th practice, we delve into the Sumerians' use of mythological stories to shape their culture and beliefs. These stories were not just tales to entertain. They were foundational narratives that explained the world, the gods, and humanity's place within it. Among the most famous of these myths is the Epic of Gilgamesh, a story that has fascinated scholars and readers for centuries. The Epic of Gilgamesh tells the story of a powerful king who embarks on a quest for immortality after the death of his friend Enkidu. Through his journey, Gilgamesh encounters gods, monsters, and profound truths about life, death, and the human condition. The themes of friendship, mortality, and the search for meaning resonate deeply, offering timeless lessons that still speak to us today. For the Sumerians, this epic was more than a story. It was a reflection of their values and a guide for understanding the complexities of existence. But the Epic of Gilgamesh was just one of many mythological stories that shaped Sumerian culture. Other tales, like the myth of Enki and the world order, explained how the gods created and organized the world. These stories often featured gods and goddesses as central characters, each representing different aspects of life, such as fertility, wisdom, or war. Through these myths, the Sumerians sought to make sense of natural phenomena, human emotions, and the divine will. Mythological stories also played a crucial role in education and moral instruction. They were passed down through generations, often recited during religious ceremonies or festivals. These stories taught important lessons about loyalty, humility, and the consequences of defying the gods. They reinforced societal norms and provided a shared cultural framework that united the people. The Sumerians' use of mythological stories reveals their deep connection to the divine and their desire to understand the mysteries of life. These narratives were not just entertainment, they were a way to preserve wisdom, inspire reflection, and strengthen the bonds between the people and their gods. As we move forward, we'll explore the 29th practice, where we uncover the Sumerians' agricultural rituals and their connection to the cycles of nature. The use of mythological stories offers a profound glimpse into how the Sumerians used storytelling to navigate the complexities of their world and their relationship with the divine. Now turning to the 29th practice, we explore the Sumerians' agricultural rituals, which were deeply intertwined with their survival and prosperity. Agriculture was the backbone of Sumerian society, and their rituals reflected their dependence on the land and the gods who governed it. To ensure bountiful harvests, the Sumerians performed elaborate ceremonies dedicated to deities associated with fertility, rain, and the earth. One of the most important rituals involved offerings to the gods of fertility, such as Inanna, the goddess of love and abundance, and Enlil, the god of wind and storms. These offerings often included the first fruits of the harvest, grains, and livestock, symbolizing gratitude and a plea for continued blessings. The Sumerians believed that these gifts would appease the gods and encourage them to provide favorable conditions for the next planting season. Rain was another critical element in Sumerian agriculture, and rituals to honor the rain gods were equally significant. The Sumerians would perform ceremonies during key moments in the agricultural cycle, such as the planting and harvest seasons. These rituals often included prayers, chants, and processions, with priests playing a central role in communicating with the divine. The goal was to ensure timely rains and to protect the crops from drought or flooding. The connection between these rituals and the agricultural cycle was profound. The Sumerians saw their labor in the fields as a partnership with the gods, where human effort and divine favor worked hand in hand. By performing these rituals, they sought to maintain harmony with the natural world and secure the prosperity of their communities. These agricultural rituals also reinforced the social and religious structure of Sumerian society. They brought people together, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose. Through these practices, the Sumerians expressed their reverence for the forces of nature and their belief in the interconnectedness of all life. As we move forward, we'll uncover the 30th and final practice, where we delve into the sacred symbols of the Sumerians and their enduring legacy in art and architecture. The agricultural rituals offer a fascinating glimpse into how the Sumerians honored the cycles of nature and sought to ensure the survival of their civilization. Now turning to the 30th and final practice, we delve into the sacred symbols of the Sumerians, which held profound meaning in their religion and culture. These symbols were not just decorative elements but powerful representations of their beliefs, gods, and the natural world. Among the most prominent were the crescent moon and the sun disk, each carrying deep spiritual significance. The crescent moon, often associated with the moon god Nanna, symbolized time, cycles, and renewal. The Sumerians observed the lunar phases closely, using them to track time and plan agricultural activities. The moon's waxing and waning were seen as reflections of life's rhythms, and its symbol adorned temples, seals, and artifacts as a reminder of divine order. The sun disk, linked to the sun god Utu, represented light, justice, and truth. Utu was believed to oversee the world with a watchful eye, ensuring fairness and order. The sun disk appeared in carvings, jewelry, and even on the walls of ziggurats, serving as a constant reminder of the god's presence and protection. These sacred symbols were intricately woven into Sumerian art and architecture. Ziggurats, the towering temples dedicated to the gods, often featured these symbols prominently. The crescent moon might crown the pinnacle of a temple, while the sun disk could be found in reliefs depicting divine scenes. Even everyday objects like cylinder seals and pottery bore these symbols, embedding their spiritual significance into daily life. The use of these symbols extended beyond religion, influencing Sumerian identity and governance. Kings and priests often used them to legitimize their authority, claiming a divine connection through their association with these powerful icons. The symbols also served as a unifying force, reminding the people of their shared beliefs and the gods who watched over them. As we conclude our exploration of the Sumerians' strange and fascinating practices, their sacred symbols stand as a testament to their creativity, spirituality, and enduring legacy. These symbols not only shaped their world but also left an indelible mark on the cultures that followed, offering us a glimpse into the rich tapestry of ancient Mesopotamia. Now turning to the conclusion of our journey through the strange and fascinating practices of the ancient Sumerians, we reflect on the incredible legacy they left behind. From using beer as currency to inventing the wheel, from their intricate rituals of divination to the towering ziggurats that reached for the heavens, the Sumerians were a civilization of innovation, spirituality, and profound complexity. Their practices, though strange to us today, reveal a society deeply connected to their gods, their environment, and each other. These 30 practices not only shaped their daily lives but also laid the foundation for many aspects of modern civilization. Their writing system, cuneiform, gave us one of the earliest forms of recorded communication. Their understanding of astronomy and astrology influenced later cultures, and their architectural marvels inspired generations of builders. Even their more controversial practices, like human sacrifice and temple prostitution, offer us a window into the values and beliefs that drove their society. As we close this exploration, consider this: how much of our own modern world is shaped by the ideas and innovations of ancient civilizations like the Sumerians. Their legacy reminds us that even the strangest practices can have a lasting impact on history. What do you think about these ancient customs? Were they merely products of their time, or do they hold lessons for us today? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to join us on more journeys into the mysteries of the past. Until next time, keep exploring.